Hey y'all, so welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a little while since I've done a video, but it's life and I'm back. So today I'm going to be talking to you about therapy. Kind of just go over some myths that I've heard, some myths that I've seen online, and tell you the facts behind them. I'll probably do a couple videos on therapy, honestly, because therapy is a big topic in mental health and it has a lot of stuff that goes into it. So why don't you go to therapy? A lot of times we don't go to therapy because we don't know what to expect. We don't know, what it is, what it ain't, what it should be, what it could be, what it would be, because we just don't know. And we kind of base our opinion on therapy off of what we see, on TV, what we hear from our friends, what we hear from our coworkers, and what we just don't know. We just think we know and we don't know. So there are probably hundreds of myths about therapy. I'm just gonna talk about the ones that I see and I've heard before, and we'll go from there. So therapy is only for people who have serious issues. That is a big myth, because therapy is for everything. Therapy could be for something small, therapy could be for something big, and therapy could be for everything in between. So it doesn't have to be because, you have schizophrenia. Like, it could be because you are stressed out, the end, and nobody has to question you about that. So a lot of people actually go to therapy for things that are not mental health issues. They're just everyday life things. So you go there for disorders, which is a main thing. Go there for advice on relationships, or just to talk about your relationships. You could go there for stress, for grieving. You could just go there just to figure out who you are, or figure out who you can be. And then some people just go to therapy because they're trying to live their best life stress-free, and they need to get to, they want to go to a therapist to try to help them get to that point. And that's just that. Like, why you go to therapy is why you go to therapy. You can go to therapy because, you just sad and you just want to talk to somebody, because sometimes we talk to our friends and it's not the same as talking to somebody who only gonna listen to you. So that brings me to myth number 2, is that you could just talk to your family and friends and it serves the same purpose as therapy, which is completely false because of a lot of different reasons. So when you go to therapy, the sole focus of therapy is you. So if you talk to your friends about your problems, or your family members, or your coworkers, or whoever, a lot of times what happens is they respond with what they're going through. And sometimes, I know I'm like this, if I want to tell you about how I'm feeling, I don't need to hear about what you're going through. Like, I mean, yes, you want to be there for your friends, but if I have a problem, the last thing I want to hear about is your problems too. And that's why therapy gives you that space for you to go and just talk about you and talk about what you're going through, and get the help that you need. And then sometimes the person that you want to talk to about your problems is the person who's causing your problems. So going to therapy saves you from hurting their feelings, or making them feel some type of way about you, or even making you become the problem when you're in actuality the victim. Because sometimes people can't handle what you're telling them. But guess what? If you go to a therapist, you don't have to worry about that, because they're not the problem. Therapy is the difference between a therapist and your friends. Guess what? They're trained professionals. So they know what they're talking about. They know what they're talking about as far as what they see, but then also what they've studied. So they are trained, they are licensed, they know, they are experts in that field. So it's not just gonna be hearsay advice or what they think is good for you. There's what they know, is what they know can help you. It's just stuff that sometimes we as people who aren't licensed don't even think about. So they can give you advice for stuff that you would have never even imagined, and a lot of times, most of the times, it works. And then on top of that, it's confidential. So if you talk about anything, except for if you want to kill somebody, you want to kill yourself, or you want to harm somebody, you want to harm somebody else, you have a plan. And if you want to do anything to harm a child, if you do any of that, then they're gonna have to tell on you. But it's confidential. confidential. So you could tell them anything, you know, that you can tell them about your childhood, you can tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, and they are legally bound to not tell anybody about you. And that's just that. You can tell your friends and family stuff, and they will go and tell the person you don't talk to them about. And now what? Now you're in a bigger problem. So that's that. Some people feel like therapists can only help if they've gone through what you are going through or what you're trying to get through. And that brings up a conflict of whether you want to go to therapy for understanding or whether you want to go for treatment and trying to get a diagnosis and heal. So it's great to want to go to somebody who's been through what you've been through, but sometimes that's a lot of times that's not necessary to get you into that point of healing or get you where you need to heal, because sometimes a lot of times people don't have to go through what you're going through to give you a good set of advice or good sound advice and to help you out. Now, I'm not saying that you don't want to get a therapist who has been through what you've been through, because a lot of times even just understanding it, so like going to a therapist of the same background, you know, racially, demographics, you know, economic background, stuff like that helps you, because they can kind of be like, I understand, I might not have gotten exactly what you've been through, but I understand. But that's not necessary in helping you get the treatment you need, because they understand and recognize a lot of stuff because it's in the books, it's in the training. And sometimes you just need a person who has a unbiased opinion to help you get through what you're going through, or just to listen. And then back to like not being it being a difference with going to your friends or family, because when you go to your therapy sessions, you're in control of your session. So if you want to go in there and you just want to talk, then you'll just talk. If you want to go in there and you just want to listen, you can just listen. If you want to go in there and you just want to take a nap, you can go just take a nap. However you want to go to your sessions, that's completely up to you. So don't think that your therapist isn't there to help you, because that's their job and that's what they're there for. Some people feel like people who go to therapy are weak, and that is absolutely far from the truth, because people who go to therapy are actually strong because they know something is wrong, or they know they have issues, or they know they need help, and they're going out and they're getting the help that they need. And that's a big step. So again, with other things, you know, with going to like Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff like that, that takes strength for you to go and recognize that you have a problem and get the help you need. Even with minor injuries, sometimes we feel like we could just do it ourselves and we can heal ourselves, but we can't, and sometimes we may end up making the situation worse. And it's the same with our mental health. So it's very, very important for us to go to therapy, because it shows strength and it shows that we want to change what we're going through and how we're living, how we're feeling. Okay, so people feel like therapy is expensive. Therapy is not expensive unless you pick a therapist who is expensive. So a lot of jobs offer free therapy. I think it's like up to 6 sessions, depending on the job, of course. So sometimes your job can pay for your therapy sessions. Insurance pays for therapy sessions up to a certain amount of, you know, a certain amount of money. And we as Americans and anybody else, we spend a lot of money on worthless and unimportant stuff. So why can't you spend money on improving your mental health? Some people feel like your childhood does not matter and it doesn't need to be brought up in therapy, but that's far from true, because a lot of times your childhood shapes how you are as an adult, and it shapes the way you think, and it shapes how you act without us realizing it. So we might have experienced trauma as children and might not even have understood it was trauma then, but that shapes how we think and react and respond as adults. So a therapist is trained to recognize that and help you get through it, and help you heal, and help you talk about it, and help you express yourself better, because sometimes we just do the things we did as a kid because that's just what we were taught. And a lot of times as kids, we're taught the wrong things because our parents do not know some things. They just teach us how they were taught, and that can shape how you are as an adult and make you end up being like the same person that your parents are, which, not to say is a bad thing, but you're not your parents, so everybody's different. So yeah, and then the last myth I will talk about, and like I said, there's so many myths, but I don't want to talk for hours about myths of therapy because you're not going to watch this whole video. But the therapist will only give you drugs, and drugs are the only way that will help. That is far from true, because guess what? Drugs are just a pacifier in treating you. So drugs are not meant to be the end all be all, because they only suppress thoughts, or they suppress feelings, or they suppress emotions. So a lot what antidepressants and anti-anxiety and all these different medications do is they change how your brain thinks. They block signals from your brain. They alter your brain's way of thinking, and it doesn't actually heal you. So therapy helps you in various ways, because you talk about your problems, you solve your problems, you work on your problems, and then the drugs kind of are a bonus, because they help you when you're not with your therapist, and they help you get through your day. And the intent is for you to not need drugs. They kind of just help speed up the process. So I might do another video on myths. I don't know, we'll see. But I will be back with more videos about therapy, what it is, what it ain't, what you can expect, and what you can do while you're there. So hopefully this video helped you understand a little bit more about therapy. If you were on the fence about it, hopefully it helped you make a decision whether you want to go try it out or not. As always, if you like this video, please like it, please comment if I've said something that made you think about therapy more, made you remember something, or even if it's motivated you in some way. Please comment, please share this video so other people can know more about therapy, and as always, please subscribe to my channel so that way you can just be notified and know when I'm dropping some new footage. So thank you for watching this video, and hope you have a great day.